All right, you know what? Let me bless myself first because it's about to get real, you guys. Everyone, and welcome back to another video. And my last video, not the last one, but my first Get Ready With Me video, I was talking about being able to talk with you guys and share my stories of the paranormal and scary stuff like that, and ghosts and spooky. I mean, it's October, we have to. It's the spooky month. And I decided that I wanted to share with you guys my personal experiences with the paranormal. I haven't, you know what, I actually didn't want to do these videos because, I mean, I didn't, because there's people who believe in it and they're gonna be like, I believe her, I know it's true, this has happened to me before, or I know someone that this has happened to before. And then on the other side, there are people who don't believe, at all in the paranormal. So when you tell them things like that, they just kind of look at you and they're like, oh no, she's definitely insane. She's definitely, you know, there's something missing up there. And listen, I'm not telling you that everything's okay up there. I've never been evaluated, but I'm pretty sure I'm not that bad. Anyway, so my dog, Manolo, stop. Anyways, I hate when Manolo barks at nothing because it just makes me feel like there's a demon right behind me. Anyways, do you guys want to say hi to Manolo? Come here, Papa. Come here, Papa. Oh, he jumped to say hi. Say hi, Manolito bello. Oh, no, don't touch mom. No. Say hi, baby. Say hi, baby. Kiss your mommy. Kiss your mommy here. Kiss your mommy here. Okay. Anyways. I needed to show you guys Manolo so that you guys can have a good, you know, start the video in a good way, in a good positive puppy way. Anyways, so this video is going to be about my experience living in Ecuador. I lived in Ecuador for 2 years when I was 13 all the way to 15, and I lived in a haunted house. This is the only way to put it. I lived in a freaking haunted house. I'm pretty sure there was demons, witches, spirits, everything in that house. Anyways, just literally remembering living there creeps me out. It was so scary. It was so terrifying. I mean, there's just no way to put it. Let me stop rambling. Anyways, let me get to the story. My family and I moved back in 2003. My family and I moved in 2003 to Ecuador for 2 years. We had an aunt, because we were living here in New York during that time, before moving over there, we had an aunt who did us a favor and went house searching for us and like kind of got us a house that we can rent and stay there while we lived in Ecuador. The first time that my family and I went in, everything was so nice. It was so great. We were just so excited that we finally lived in a house because, you know, if you're in New York, you probably lived in an apartment, and you know the apartment life is the worst. So living in a house for the first time, we were so excited. My sisters and I had different rooms. I mean, my younger sister and I shared, but then like we weren't all in the one room. We were just very excited. We were like, oh my god, it's so pretty, it's so nice, it's so surrounded by nature. There's like mountains and cows around. It was just beautiful. Honestly, it was like amazing. And then it came time to move in. Everything we had shipped from New York to Ecuador, couch, sofas, tables, chairs, everything that we bought from Ecuador to New York, the washing machine, appliances, anything like that, finally arrived. So we decided that it was time to move in because we were still staying with my aunt at first, the first few weeks, while we waited for everything to come into the house. Everything came to the house and it was finally time to move in. On the first day, so this is something that happened on the first day. The first day, my mom and my dad are downstairs with my little brother and they're taking out, you know, little adornos and things and frames and stuff like that to decorate the house, you know, try to make the house look all cute and everything downstairs in the living room. They take all the luggages and they put them in the rooms upstairs. So there was 3 rooms upstairs, 3 bedrooms. So the way the bedrooms were set up were pretty much so that once you go up the stairs, and if you're standing from my bedroom, just so that you guys have a better idea, my bedroom's right here. My mom's room is right here, and then there was like a wall there, but instead of the wall, it was my sister's room. So kind of in an L shape. The rooms were kind of set up in an L shape, and then across from the room was a bathroom, and on the other side of my sister's room there were stairs going up to the terrace of the house. And the house that we lived in was super cute because you can actually wash your clothes upstairs. Like you would go upstairs and like wash clothes by hand and then just hang them, and it like sun dries, and it's very cute, very South American, adorable. Okay, so then that night that we're all unpacking, my parents are unpacking downstairs, my sisters and I are unpacking upstairs. We're taking care of clothes. So my sister has 2 bags of luggage in her room. I have another 2 bags, and there's like 2 bags more in my mom's room. But because my mom was taking care downstairs with my dad of all the other things, we were just taking care of our rooms first, and then we were gonna go into my mom's room and take out more clothes. In the meantime, everything that was in the luggage, in those 2 luggages, we didn't know, we had mixed everything in. So in my room, there were clothes that were for my mom and my sister, so we were folding the clothes and then just sending it to each room, and my sister was doing the same. In my room, it was my little sister and I, Catherine. So Catherine is on the other side of the room. I'm like by the bed that was closer to the door. So I'm folding clothes there and then going out to my mom's room, dropping things off, going into my sister's room, dropping things off there as well. So we're pretty much like excited. We're so excited that we have a house. We're like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This is amazing. We're folding clothes, and then all of a sudden, at the same time, my older sister, who was like right here in this room, and then me, who was right here in this room, I come out with a whole bunch of clothes that I had accumulated that were my mom's, so I was taken into her room. And then my sister Tatiana, was my older sister Tatiana, who was in the other room by herself. She had accumulated a whole bunch of clothes from my mom that had to go into my mom's room as well. So we're both taking clothes outside, and as we both walk out at the same time, and as we walk out at the same time, we hear the terrace. And just so you understand, our terrace had a metal door. And so it was one of those big clinky metal doors that kind of make noise every time you open or close. And to open it, it takes a while. It takes you like a good 20 seconds to open the door because it has those long metal poles that you have to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down until it reached to the other side for you to open it. Like, it's really old style, very beautiful. I loved it. So, oh, sorry, baby. Manolo's right there. He's scared the shit out of me. So my sister and I walk out at the same time, and as we walk out, we hear a big cling in the door. It goes cling, and you can hear the metal, the little vibration. And we both like kind of stop and look towards the stairs. And as we look towards the stairs, we see. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Just thinking about it freaking freaks me out. So as we're looking at the stairs, we turn around. We both have like clothes like this, and we turn around. We look at the stairs. I literally have goosebumps. I hate telling this story, but I love it at the same time. There's a black, tall figure, like a mask, and the only way that I can describe it, it looks exactly like the Zorro, but you can't see face, you can't see like any. Oh my god, kids laugh. Oh. I'm freaking out by myself. I just heard little kids laughing when I said. Oh. Manolo, come here. You guys, my heart is beating so fast. I'm still traumatized from like that experience. Like, it was serious. Manolo, come here. Here, baby, here's the sock. He likes to play with socks. Anyways. Así se me hace el culito. I'm so nervous. Anyways, okay. So as my sister nature, I can't say it because I'm like nervous. Anyways, so as we both turn around, we see this tall black like figure, and the only way that I can describe it is that he looks like the Zorro. He had a big black hat like that covering his face. It's and then he had a big black cape that as he ran down the stairs, went down, we saw the cape like fly in the wind. And he was tall, he was about 6 feet, but we couldn't see any face, we couldn't see anything. It was just like a smoky black thing. Like, it was the scariest thing I have ever seen in my life. So he goes down the stairs, goes in between me and my sister, and kind of like pushes my sister to the side. Doesn't really touch her, but it was, she like moves to the side because it's like going super fast towards her. Goes out, it goes into her room and out her window. It just disappears. And my sister and I start screaming bloody hell. We just like fucking yell, you guys. We were yelling, we were screaming, we were crying. And this is my older sister. My older sister at this time, I was 13, so she was, my sister's 18, I'm 13, and we both saw it. And we start screaming so loud, and we're yelling, and we're like, ah. So my dad, fun fact, this is a little fun fact and funny part of this story is that right before we moved to Ecuador, my dad found a vintage samurai sword. I don't know if it's a replica, we don't know if it's real, but my dad just loved it, fell in love with it, and bought, oh my god, you guys. I thought I saw something from the side of my eye. Anyways, Manolo. Anyways, so my dad, going back to my dad found a like vintage samurai sword. We think it's like silver or something like that. He was just really obsessed with it that he brought it from New York all the way to Ecuador. He packed it, he like sent it over, whatever. He brought it to Ecuador, it was there with us. So as we were screaming, and my younger sister, she didn't see anything, but she just heard her scream so loud and like wild that she started screaming as well, and she was in the room, like she was inside the room, because I was in the doorway as my sister was in her doorway. So she's screaming too, I'm screaming, my older sister's screaming, and my dad comes up the stairs, and he comes up he thinks, I'm assuming he's thinking someone came into the house, because you heard the clang from the door in the terrace, and then you hear us screaming. So I'm assuming he's like panicking, thinking someone came into the house. So my dad comes up. My dad's like about 5'3", 5'4", he's very short, and he has this sword that is like twice his size. So he comes out like this, he goes, what's going on? Who's in here? Who's in here? And oh my god, my sister and I just start laughing so hard because we just see my dad with his sword, and it was just so comical. We were so scared that it just went, our nerves and our just emotions were in like such a crazy roller coaster of emotions that we went from like crying and screaming to looking at my dad do that to laughter. So my dad just he like calms down, he sees us laughing, and he's like, what happened? So we tell him, we're like, Dad, something, or I'm telling him, I'm like screaming, I'm like, something came down the stairs, it was a freaking demon, a demon is in the house. And my dad doesn't believe in these kind of things, so my dad just kind of looks at us and he's like, all right, you know, and he just like walks downstairs, and we're like terrified. My older sister and I were completely terrified. I don't have, and this is really weird, I don't have any other recollection for the rest of the night or for the rest of like that day. And that happened around, I'm gonna say around 5 to 6 p.m. because we were already like at home and it was late. We had dinner, and we have early dinners in my family. So I don't remember anything after that. I just remember being so terrified, going into my room, and then that's it. There's like literally no memory of anything from that day. The reason why I am pointing that out is because it was such a traumatizing day that I think that I would have remembered what had happened after. But there's like no memory of me fixing my room anymore. There's no memory of me like going downstairs to my parents, nothing. That's just like where everything just goes black. At least in like memory wise. My sister and I were scared about the situation, and we told my younger sister what happened. I mean, yeah, we were great older sisters. We told her what happened. So she's like freaking out. This was like days later. We're talking about it. And then my mom and my dad are like just dismissive of it. And the town that I'm from in Ecuador is called Loja. And I just feel like this town is so spooky. It's so beautiful. Like the buildings, the houses, they're still very old Spanish colonial style. So it's gorgeous, but it's very scary. I also went to my aunt's house, which is definitely haunted. We found out that it was built over an old cemetery, like an old Indian cemetery, an old Indian grave or something like that. So yeah, so coming back to the story, my sisters and I would always talk about this, and I would tell my aunts, and I told my cousins, and like everyone was just like, oh, that's spooky, you know. But I felt like no one gave it the importance it needed. Like I do remember that we told my aunt, the one that has like the haunted house as well, she brought a priest with my mom. My dad came back to New York because my dad wasn't living with us. He like had to come back to New York, and so it was just my mom and us. So my aunt would come and visit us a lot, or we would go visit her. We told her about it, and then she says, just to be safe, we're gonna we're gonna get this house blessed. So they did it when we were, once my dad left, it was like, we were going up, we're about to start a new school, and my aunt comes with a new priest, and he's like blessing and throwing holy water and everything like that, and nothing really like that ever happened again. However, that was not the end of it. It was definitely the scariest thing that ever happened in the house, but it wasn't the only thing that happened. So my younger sister and I, we shared a room, and there was 2 beds. I slept by the window and she slept by the door. And we're sleeping one night, and this was probably like a year in to living into in that house. So I'm sleeping and everything's fine, and then the next morning I wake up to my sister crying, and I'm like, what happened? Is everything okay? Like, what's going on? My sisters and I were all very lovey-dovey with each other. We're like very like protective of each other. So I'm like, what happened? What's going on? And then she's like, I had the worst dream ever. So I'm like, oh bitch. Anyway, so then I'm like, okay, what happened? Tell me. And she's like, well, she doesn't say I had the worst dream ever. She says I saw the worst thing ever. That's what it was. And I'm like, what happened? Like, what did she see? And she goes, last night when we were sleeping, I wake up and I see a little girl. She was beautiful. She was like the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life. She had, I can't remember the way she described it, but I think she said she had like black curly hair. And then like an old Victorian dress, kind of like the way they would dress little kids, you know, back in the day, like in the Victorian times. And she was playing with this like ball, and she said that the girl was playing with the ball, bouncing it up and down from her bed to my bed, from my bed to her bed, and then just stopped in the center, was looking at her, and would just bounce the ball. Ooh, I get like freaking escalofrios just thinking about that. And she's like, and I wanted to scream and I wanted to say something, but she was like, I wanted to scream for you so that you can wake up and see it as well, but I couldn't. She was like, I couldn't feel anything, like I didn't have a voice. It was the most you guys, it was the most terrifying thing, she's telling me. And she was like, I couldn't move. So I'm thinking she has like sleep paralysis. And I'm like, well, you had sleep paralysis, this and that. And she's like, yeah, I know. But she was like, I know I wasn't asleep. I know I wasn't like, oh, you know, like I would fall back asleep or then I wake up and it's a dream. She was like, I was awake. I like could see her. I can feel her. Like she was like, I can feel the witch. Like she was like aware that she was awake. And my sister's not someone to like make up that kind of thing. Like she's not a little liar, is what I'm telling you, and she doesn't really make up things like that. Yeah, that was pretty much it from that part. She just said that, and we were kind of scared. We didn't want to sleep alone, so we remember having an aunt come and sleep with us because we were terrified. And I was thriving on that. I really enjoyed it. I'm such a freak. I really enjoyed it. I remember like at one point I was alone in that room and I was like talking. I don't know why I was doing this. I don't know if I would do this again. But I was just sitting in the bed and talking. Like I think this was like a week later. I remember that she had told me that. And I remember just talking to the spirit and saying, hey, whoever you are, I'm sorry you're trapped in this limbo and you can't go home, but you need to go home. You're scaring us. You need to not be around. Go away. You're not welcome. Goodbye. And I think I remember saying, if you need someone to talk to, this is your moment. No, it's not. No, it's not your moment to talk to no one. You're not gonna talk to me. I don't know who I thought I was, this guidance counselor for ghosts. I don't know who the hell I thought I was. I thought I was that little boy from like that movie, The Sixth Sense. So in that house, little things like that would happen a lot. And one of the scariest things is that this one night, my mom, my sisters, and we were all sleeping all in each one's room, and I remember my younger sister telling my younger sister, I was like, wait, do you hear that? And all we hear is like big heavy chains being like dragged across our terrace, like our terrace. And it just sounded like just heavy metal link chains. That's what I pictured in my head. It was like metal chain links, but like thick ones, the ones that you kind of drag. Now in Ecuador, there's this thing saying that when the devil's around and he's dragging a damn soul, he's dragging them from their feet covered in chains. So that's what I'm thinking. We're like, someone died around here and the devil is taking him home. So we were terrified. So we're just laying there so scared, and I'm just telling her, just close your eyes, just fall asleep, just fall asleep. I remember her coming to my bed and we're just like sleeping together and so terrified. We're like grown ass kids. Like I'm 13, she's 10, but we were like grown, like we weren't babies, you know, guys. So whatever, we all kind of just let it go. My sister and I just let it go. We wake up the next day and then we're having breakfast. Everyone looks tired. My mom looks tired. My little brother looks tired. My little brother used to sleep with my mom because he was a baby at that time. He was probably like around 4. He still slept with my mom. And my older sister was tired as well. And I remember at breakfast, me and my little sister were telling them, we're like, we kept hearing chains being dragged. And then my mom kind of looks at my sister looks at me. We all kind of look at each other and they're like, yeah, we heard it as well. We're like, what the hell was that? But yeah, we know that everyone heard it in that house. So it just kind of made us feel like reassured that it wasn't like our imagination and that we weren't just being paranoid. The fact that other people heard it in different rooms was, 1, terrifying, and 2, just made us feel better about it. But yeah, that was really it. Anyways, you guys, that was pretty much the only stories that I can remember. I think I want to do one where I asked my sisters to like share any stories that they've had, but I'm pretty sure those were like the most notable stories, or the stories that we all kind of remember. I would also love to talk about the apartment that I currently live in. I think it's haunted as well. I don't know if it's haunted or if I'm the haunted one. Everywhere I go, there's always something happening. I can always sense these things. I think this is the part where people are gonna be like, okay, she's like crazy. But I'm always very sensitive to these kind of things. So whenever I go to someone's house, I always kind of get the feeling, or I would know when there's like a ghost in it or something like that. And I'm like, you're not alone. I will tell friends, and I need to stop doing that because I always freak them out. You're not alone. There's like ghosts in here. There's like spirits in the building or whatever. And I freaked them out, so maybe I shouldn't say that. The other thing is that in this apartment, a few terrifying things have happened to me, which is why I'm freaking out during the entire video. I've been freaking out is because there's been a few things that have happened to me here. And not only me, but my stepfather, my mom, and my sisters, my brothers, we've all seen stuff in this apartment, and we still kind of live here, so we're just kind of welcome. But in this apartment, it doesn't happen frequently. I mean, it never really does. It didn't happen frequently in the old house as well. But it usually happens to me, and I kind of see a lot of things. Anyways, let me know if you want to hear those scary stories from this current apartment that I am haunted and I'm being haunted by. I don't know if you guys are interested in, this is so weird. I filmed it and it said recording, but the numbers weren't rolling. I think there's a demon that doesn't want me to tell you guys about what's happening in this apartment. Anyways, I was saying that a lot of things have happened in this apartment. By my door, which is right behind this camera, my room, the kitchen, my mom's room. My mom's room is so scary. I feel like in her room there's just like things going on. There's like demons and spirits living in there that I need to stop saying this because I'm home alone right now. Just let me know if you guys would like to hear more stories about this. I might have to film these stories when more people are in the house, or when I'm somewhere else. So thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to give this a thumbs up. If you like the video, if you want to see more, leave a little comment. And guys, before you leave, in the next ghost time story, I would love to hear your stories as well. So I'm going to create an email address where you guys can send me 1-minute clips of your ghost stories, and I will pick the best ones, the scariest ones, or the most interesting ones for everyone to hear and share, because as much as I like to share mine, I want to hear yours as well. Copy that email address down there below and send me your 1-minute clip ghost story so that I can enter it in here. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and please also share your ghost stories down below in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.